Hello, guys. Good afternoon. I wanted to come and holler at y'all for a second just to talk about something real quick that, even though I'm going to make a very light joke out of it, I am dead ass serious about what I'm getting ready to say. And no, the internet does not unify us with folks who think and exist differently. Okay? It's like we have to constantly remind them, hey, I don't live or exist in the same reality as you. And especially when you are colored or a woman of color or a person of color, you have to remind certain African American people that you do not exist in their reality. That very oppressive reality where they have a lynch mob, that gang stalking reality. And they don't realize how serious it is. No, we have stated what we said. Okay. And, they don't get it. They don't understand that they're on a totally different frequency and wavelength than what we are on. And we don't have to exist within their paradigm. We don't. And it doesn't seem like you have to constantly remind them of that, because I don't think they get it, y'all. No, no, okay. They exist in a reality where you have to be embarrass yourself and go through all these changes and be powerless. I come from a bloodline of shamans, and so they want to pull you in to their reality where they want to subjugate you and try to make you their subject. Have y'all noticed that? You know, I don't think that they quite get that. They don't get it. I mean, even some of my students don't understand that, and I don't expect them to get it right away. So I get it. I get that there's people, and I know that it sounds strange when I say that. It does. It sounds really strange, but even though there's certain things that could unify us, possibly, right? It doesn't mean that it has to, but it could cause a maybe a temporary possibility for a unification, like for example the election. I'm not sensitive to the election. I'm not going to lose my head because of the election. I stay grounded in my utopia where I'm supposed to be, where me and my loved ones are at. Okay. Yes, the election, it's something that we have in common because, you know, um, as the world exists on this grid that we're on, yeah, the president of the United States is something that we have in common, but that doesn't mean that we're connected. And so today is the 4th, tomorrow is the election, right? Aren't they releasing the election results? What we are doing right now is preparing and protecting and shielding, because there's a lot that's going on. It's a lot of negative energy out there. It is. And it's a lot of people with a bunch of negative frequencies and just negative, negative, negative. We are staying shielded from that negativity. We don't want to deal with your negativity. We don't deal with things the same way. Hey, Unica, and y'all know that Quincy Jones just passed away, right? Rest in peace, Quincy. Um, I saw a video in my recommended feed, and it was showing all of Quincy Jones's kids and his wives, and none of his wives were black. And how do I say this? I looked, of course, I was, of course, I looked at the comment section, and there were so many comments berating him about him not having a black wife. You know, I get it, I understand it, I do, but I don't live in a reality where that's a bother. I live in a reality where black men, black women can get a man if they want. I've never had problems getting a man. My grandmother was a beautiful uh, chocolate woman, and she always had a man, and she was happy. So I don't live in a reality where I felt the need to diss him because he didn't have a black wife. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't live in a reality where a man has to be with me because I'm black. But I also don't live in a reality where black women are not wanted because they're black. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I don't have that kind of stuff on my heart. And any black woman that chose, because I can tell you, y'all are y'all beautiful as fuck. Black women are gorgeous. And just like white women, it's beauty in every race. Okay? If you come over to my utopia, you're not going to have an issue finding a man or being with a man. You got to do some shamanic love work because the reality that you are existing in, people cannot appreciate your beauty, okay? Or you as a woman, they can't appreciate it. In your reality, you feel the need to date outside of your race, which is nothing wrong with that at all. But then again, there's still that stigma on your heart, right? It is for some people. I watch Gabe and Babe. Y'all ever hear of them? Gabriel and Chad. Hey, I'm happy for them. They seem to be very happy, and they're an interracial couple. Okay, so it's your reality was shaped and was created by many many different things, but when you realize that this is what has happened, and now you have to reshape your reality. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have to live in a reality where, you see a black man like Quincy Jones dating white women or marrying white women. In my reality, all I see really mainly is black Hollywood couples. I don't. It's not a problem because as a woman in my utopia, I'm appreciated. And any man that doesn't appreciate me, well, he's obviously not in my utopia, is he? And I ain't got to worry about him. You see what I'm saying? And when I tap into these certain realities that people are in, you can sense that heaviness in the chest and all that. You got to come over to my world and you're going to be all right. And it feels good to not have that issue, to be in my reality and don't have it sitting on your heart, you know, these folks that were programmed and they're a part of the system. So shamanic love work is some of the best. It is. You know what I'm saying? And, and don't let your pride get in the way of that. So many people are, it's so much more that I could really say and talk about, but I'm not going to talk about it. It's very difficult to understand why, if you're in a utopia, why is it necessary to call certain spirits to bring certain energies to your utopia? It's kind of difficult to understand that. Um, well, you know what? It's because you are repairing something that many of y'all, you're recreating your life and you're repairing things about your mind that has created these things. Okay. Or maybe even people that have imprinted on you, and then there's some people that know about shamanism and they try to make their way in. Okay. They do. I've seen them form cords to the outer shell of your reality. That's how desperate they are to force you. So it won't necessarily be corded to you, you know. If y'all didn't see my cord cutting discussion, y'all need to go and look at that. If you missed it, I did that live yesterday. A lot of those men that we don't want, or things that we don't want, they will try to push and push and push and push and push to get in your reality for you to let them in. If you don't let them in, then they sort of, it's almost like, those suction cups, like they'll form a cord, and at the end of it it'll be a suction cup, and they'll kind of like attach it to the outside of your door, or your shield, right? Once you're done with somebody like that, they're going to continuously try to form a cord, especially if it's a man that you've given, that you've forgiven. That's why, you know yeah, forgiveness doesn't, it can sometimes be a bad thing, forgiveness, because then they think that what they're doing is normal. But I've noticed that it's like they'll form a suction cup to your outer door, and it's up to you. It's totally your choice as to if you're going to let them in, and you don't have to let them in ever again. So if you're not accepting their cord, you know then and you walk away from it for good, and you're absolutely done. Because a lot of the men in your reality, there's a lot of the people in your reality, they're just very fake, and they have these strange expressions on their faces, with their behavior. It just looks real strange and goofy. And you ask yourself, how does this person even, how can they even claim or even pretend to be normal? So, it can take time. I practiced my first shamanic ritual, it was about 6 months ago. It was about 6 months ago. And so, it can take some time to, I don't even think that it's about letting go. A lot of those people from from that made up false reality that was created, the reason why you're so a lot of people are so empty is because those people were never capable or equipped to actually reciprocate the love, the actual love energies. They're taught narcissism and fake love. So that's, you know what I'm saying? And seriously, that's what they do. That's what they do. So and that can take time. So, it's been about my like I said, my first shamanic ritual was 6 months ago. And there's been dramatic changes that are leading me ultimately to where I'd like to go. And yeah, those men from that other reality, they can really try to be scary. That there is it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that there would be even anything like that that exists. Like, wow, how did that happen? I mean, you just got to keep them out. And men, especially the way that they're made, their phalluses is a symbol of a cord. It is. Some of them are larger, smaller than others. So, as long as you don't accept that cord and you don't let them penetrate, because the entrance to a woman's vagina is symbolic of the entrance to her utopia. So as long as you don't let that man, you can't, and not that you would want to, right? And so when the moment that you do that, then you're letting him in, right? And so that's how they can form that cord to you again. And then you have to go through the process again of eliminating that person that you shouldn't have been involved with in the first place. So just don't do it anymore, and eventually they'll go away, is my opinion about it. Because they think that, they're going to be able to possibly stalk or berate you into coming back to that, or so when you cut that cord, and then you can, you start to really really notice the huge differences and the changes in the way you feel. And then healing is going to take, it's going to take some time. You'll feel better instantly, um but in order to get back to your normal self, right? Because a lot of y'all that existed in that reality, you were able to still ground yourself. You were able to still, manifest some things for yourself. But it just wasn't quite right. You knew that something was wrong. You knew that something was off. Okay. And, and you knew something was off because nobody supported you in living your best life or living the best life possible. And so that's when you realized that there was apparently something wrong with what was happening with that picture. So, you know, and then opening your door and allowing somebody inside of your house is symbolic of letting them in. If it's somebody that you already know ain't no good, you're not going to open your door to let them in. This is the reason why grape is so frowned upon, because when a man penetrates you, He is pulling you in to his reality. So, it takes time. It does. It takes time. And, they want to tell you that you're stigmatized and they want to put a stigma on you. And, um, you just have to know that you don't have to put it, you don't have to put up with that. You don't have to exist like that. You don't have to live like that. And if somebody tells you, well, yes, you do, because of so and so and so, you can either respectfully or disrespectfully agree with them, whatever your choice is. I'm sorry, disagree with them. You don't have to agree with them. Uh-huh. Yep. You don't have to agree with them, and you don't have to worry about or get upset about the fact that they are trying to force you to live that way and then telling you why you should be forced to live that way. Okay? Which is in misery. Which is in misery. Uh-huh. You know. So yeah, it's gonna be all right. And when you start working on stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? You'll start noticing so many different changes, and you'll notice immediate change. You'll notice that, you're stronger, right? You and not stronger in a sense of having to always fight with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to live like that. But you're stronger in a sense of your mind is stronger. Okay. So, yeah. And they are like that. They will try to invade and they'll try to make it seem like it's romantic. There's nothing romantic about that. You know what I'm saying? They try to romanticize it, and it's not romanticized. It's not romantic, it's not cute, it's not fun, and it's not anything that anybody has to accept. You don't have to accept what you don't want. You know what I mean? Because some of them, and I don't understand it. You know, it's pretty bad, and it's what's real to them. But what is real to you? Whatever it is that's real to you is what's going to exist. That's what's going to exist, whatever you accept. So, yep, it is invading. It is. So, and I'm shocked when it was shocking, being around so many nice people my entire life, just, knowing that decent people out there exist, and then running across that that reality of gang stalking. That's some serious stuff. Like, it's a very real paradigm, and those people exist in a very specific and very miserable reality. It's very miserable, constantly 24/7. And the reality that I grew up in was not that. I'm like, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this. No. I was thinking about one time years ago in the kitchen helping my grandmother and my aunt and my mother cook. We was all just sitting in there and, had our little beers or whatever and cooking for the family and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up with all that craziness. Like, so instantly when I'm feeling pulled into something that I'm not used to and it doesn't feel right to me, I'm going to pull myself out. And I realized that for especially the past 5 years, that I would manage to ground myself all the time, to where I would not be greatly affected by it. You know what I'm saying? To where I could survive. But then I realized that people within that reality had cords to me and was able to pull my energy and then fragment my soul way too much. Various areas of my aura and then all of um my innards. And then I realized that those people were damaging my organs. So I said, "Oh, I gotta hurry up and I said, let me hurry up and figure this out." And I did. I realized that, hey, Stefan, are womb portals access to tranquility, heaven, or access to hell, utter pain, sorrow? It's all about your mind. If you know, I I personally feel like my womb is a portal to tranquility and heaven, personally. But when somebody can't enter into that, then they then that's what creates the hell. But I think it depends on how you feel about yourself. And then also, as far as like that heaven and hell thing goes, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I live in peace and tranquility and assurance. I don't, like I said, like the day that we moved, I felt so peaceful that day and so loved, you know what I'm saying? And appreciated and valued. Because, and, I didn't feel stressed. I went and put my stuff in storage and went to a hotel and had me some McDonald's and a shake and some fries and a burger, and I went to sleep and woke up smiling. So, wherever I'm at, I'm considered to be like a ray of sunshine. But I think that also for me, I decided that my um environment around me, the air that I breathe, the water that I drink changed. You know what I'm saying? The earth that I was standing on changed completely. Everything changed, right? So, you know, mhm. But as far as like that is the truth. There are people that exist on certain paradigms where certain things are just a thing, and if you find yourself faced with people who are adamantly telling you about this warped sense of what is real, then you know that those people exist in a paradigm that you don't want to be in. And so, a lot of people, this is the reason why a lot of people unalive themselves, because they don't know that. It's so miserable around them. It's so much misery that they just can't take it anymore. And those are the people that are usually extreme. They're 100% engulfed in it and they can't find their way out. And so they think, well, you know, but people from those different realities, they seem to constantly be trying to make contact, and they're not. Those people are trying to trap you. There is a such thing as spiritual trapping. It is. So, that's why whenever you're planning something big, especially me, I always make sure that I set my intention and get closest to that goal as possible, if not to complete perfection, as far as that goal that I'm setting. And so what's normal for them, which is sitting around calling women bitches and stuff like, I mean, I I can't get down like that. I'd rather live in a reality where it don't take all that much effort. That's too much. That's draining. Have to argue with somebody, go back and forth with somebody. I don't no. So and that's where they are. You don't have to be there, you know? Y'all can take it from me because, the reality that I lived in prior to coming into the YouTube spiritual community paled in comparison to some of the stuff that I noticed. So you are traveling worlds. That's one of them. Okay. You know, the world that my parents created for me, it was okay. It wasn't that bad. But then I came to the YouTube spiritual community and it was like they were trying to drag me into this trap of this reality that I refuse to be in. And I'm not a part of that. It ain't no blood in, blood out. I ain't never put no blood on it. No, I'm not going to live like that. You know, I'm telling you. So that's pretty much what I wanted to tell y'all. You know what I'm saying? The shamanism thing is really, really good. It really is. It takes some getting used to, like it does, because when I first started reality shifting, it would sometimes make me feel a little off or dizzy. But after a while, when you find your north and you're able to ground yourself very quickly and you know how to get back to that space that you call home, where you feel comfortable and you feel good. Last night I had done some work to keep them out of my reality, to literally shoot arrows at them if they tried to come and hijack me. And so I'm sitting here and I'm feeling fine, but then I get this overwhelming feeling. So I said, let me go get in the shower. I went and got in the shower and felt better instantly. And I guess, um, yeah, I guess, whenever, I don't know. All I know is that I ain't nobody's genie in a bottle and I ain't about to be trapped in nobody's reality where they can feed off of me. Okay. And they don't like when you cut those cords because it's almost like an elephant trunk, right? You know how you look at the end of an elephant trunk and it's just like doop, and it's on your, it's like on the window of your shield, and you can cut that cord. You can destroy that. So cord cutting is not just about cord cutting and separation and cord cutting and stopping that person from being attached. The cords that they are sending to penetrate you, you can cut those and they'll die. It's almost like if you were looking into the astral and you could see your shield that separates the physical reality, but it still connects you. The spiritual reality is connected, but kind of separate. It's hard to describe, but if you were looking at your shield of your reality and everybody that you love is in it, and you look at it and you can even see, it's like you'll be able to see these cords that and they're trying to break down that shield that you have up so that they can invade. And I know this is exact fact because I've been doing some Bombay work to stop the feeding. And when you do that work, now they want to show up. That's why they show up. That's why they go through that. And they don't show up because it's love and it's romance and oh my God, it's romantic and he's doing something desperate to get to you. No, people like that cannot love you. They can't love you. They're not going to ever give you, they're not going to ever love you. So and I knew that. I felt that that was going to happen when they realized they can't feed, because I was telling y'all, remember I was telling y'all about the aura headaches and how I could see them trying to invade in the astral. Well, the moment that I cut their ability to come in through the astral to gain access, that was when they felt like they had to physically show up. And people like that will use swatting techniques, police, and DFACs and CPS. They will. They'll even try to send other people and work through them. It's very bizarre. hmm So when you have that shield up, and it's important to have that shield up that they can't get through. Now they're knocking on the window. They're knocking on it. And and so it's really crazy. And it's something that I'm looking forward to the day where I can just exist in my utopia, which is essentially an upgraded, or it is a reality that is created based upon the foundation of my parents, because my parents did give me a good foundation. They did. So it's an extension or an upgrade or it's growth. Okay, my parents gave me a good start. Now I'm growing and I'm coming into my own. And things were okay previously. Things were actually very happy. I don't know if y'all remember when I lived in Lawrence and I used to take pictures for my social media and stuff. That was when I was initiating. I was being initiated by spirit to begin doing spiritual work. And I was not being initiated by any person. I was being initiated by spirit. And y'all remember when I would take pictures with my little glasses of wine and stuff, but I was smiling and I was happy. That reality was pretty good. But I said, you know what? I want to upgrade my current reality. Okay. I want to upgrade my current reality. And, it's time for me to walk my path. But then, obviously, you start doing readings and doing stuff in social media, and the people from their realities, they on the attack. They've been watching a little too much Wizard of Oz is the problem. But it's still a problem because they do use real spiritual practices that can work, even though they're, you know. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, boy. That mm mm mm. That's why when I get my potions sent out to y'all, you're gonna be instructed, especially the curse breaker, return to sender. You can put a drop or two in your bath, and it'll, break curses, return them. And that's why even if you're doing shamanism and reality shifting work, you still have to now reverse the negative effects of whatever environment you were in. Okay. Because otherwise, because I've seen people from those realities, they be having reversal candles going 24/7. Shit. My shield is way too, I don't need no damn reversal candle going 24/7. And before I started practicing shamanism, I would do that too. I would have just a candle just going forever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so happy I don't have to do that anymore. I'm happy as hell I ain't got to do that no more. It's constantly reverse return to sender. Well, my protection is kind of baneful, so it's actually very baneful. So Mm-mm-mm. So anywho, y'all, and it's important to understand shamanism, especially when it's a bunch of goofy. Like, what is this goofy? No, this is goofy. Where are they doing that at? Here? Okay, let me go. And you're still alive because a lot of people are like, what's going to happen? You're still going to be alive. It's just that a lot of that goofy ain't going to be going on. And then, now there's some people that are used to that goofy, and I'm guessing that it provides them some kind of sense of familiarity. I ain't familiar with some of the goofy that I've seen, and I'm like, no, that's not normal for me, hon. So, and then you'll find that they upset you. You get upset about things less. You just like, and you hear stories about certain stuff that, they be doing to kids and stuff, and it's sad. It's very sad, but, you know, um, what can you do? Especially if you have children of your own to look after. I have godchildren, y'all. So, you know, but yeah, I'm telling you, they are doing the most. They are doing the most, man. And they just love, love, love the constant craziness and goofy. And, when you deal with a person from that, from a certain reality, it's almost like they'll trick you, you know, they'll trick you, you get tricked, you know, they'll pretend like everything is all good, but then you realize, like, ooh, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get away from here and leave and lock the door. Just don't even open it up no more. hmm I mean, and they got to be exhausting because I was dealing with this one person. I felt like I was constantly doing work 24/7, and still am doing a lot of work, good boy, because they sure wanna. Oh my God, they want me right there, front and center, living in a reality like that, and I'm just not gonna do it. And they better be careful because if I call Shiva, Shiva is the destroyer of worlds. Not that Shiva would destroy your world, but Shiva provides you with some of the knowledge of what I'm talking about with shamanism. That's why every time you see Shiva, he's in a lotus position and he's meditating and he's grounding himself. So what Shiva will do Is if if those people keep meddling with you, and y'all know that Shiva is a manifestation of Satan. Okay, he's one of Satan's manifestations besides Zeus, um, and a few others. Okay, Shiva will destroy their reality and completely destroy it and tear it down if they keep trying to, like, wait a minute. My person told me that you keep trying to pull them into that, and they don't want to be there with you. That's why they fear Shiva, but Shiva's nobody to fear. He is a great healer. He's wonderful. You know, and I was they kept trying to pull me into a reality where all of the women hated me. Everybody hated me, and I was already dead. And I said, "Well, I know damn well I ain't dead." Trying to make me feel, yeah, trying to make me feel like like I was dead already or something. It was weird. And Spirit already told me that we gonna be able to forget about them folk. And they sure don't want to be forgotten. And they're on the internet. They're on the internet. They and, and they're even trying to think of ways to take you into courtrooms and stuff, try to file bogus charges against you. That's one of the way they form a court. Oh, you can form a court with this person by taking them to court for something bogus. Well, Shiva ain't gonna let that happen either. That's how you end up with the false charges against you and stuff like that. So y'all, it's oh man, it's worth it though. It's worth it getting out of there. It's worth it to get out. It's worth it. You know. So anywho, yeah, Kali Ma is a rescuer. Kali Ma goes and she rescues the victims that have been hijacked. They will grab you, and wherever your spirit is at is what shapes the physical reality around you. Because there it's not separated. Your physical earth reality is connected to your spirit. So that's why they're after your spirit. Some of these people on the internet do that to me. Right after I build up a bunch of energy that I have manifested from various sources, the sun, the moon, various sources, they'll see that energy is built up and then they start trying to feed. But then the feeding gets blocked. And if they don't get to feed off of that, especially when you create and stuff and you doing stuff, then they get desperate. I'm telling you, and it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, they'll get over it. Okay, guys, I hope that this discussion was an enlightenment for y'all. I'll see y'all later, okay? Y'all have a good one. Happy Monday. Bye bye.